Hi friends, today I am going to review the book, Nudge Management. Applying Behavioral Science to Boost Well-Being, Engagement and Performance at Work. By Eric Singler, Cass R. Sunstein and Pierre Chandon. Nudges, small and benign inducements to better behavior and choices, pervade society, but you may barely notice them. Employees want to love their work. They want to engage and perform at their best. Regrettably, most companies still use outdated, command and control, fear-based management techniques that make it nearly impossible for most employees to engage and innovate. Harnessing the lessons of neuroscience and behavioral economics, firms can co-create environments with employees that bring out their best. Nudges are liberty-preserving approaches that steer people in particular directions, but that also allow them to go their own way. Nudges like automatic enrollment in pension plans tend to work, cost little and, unlike laws or tax incentives, don't rely on coercion. Nudges gently guide people to better choices. Nudges address the human tendency to resist change, stay quiet, and make suboptimal decisions due to bias and emotion. Nudges can improve decision-making and change efforts and productivity, all through benign encouragement of better choices for the firm and the employee. Traditional economics described a fiction. Behavioral economics explains how people really think and behave. Until recently, economists argued that people make choices rationally in their best interests after careful calculation. Most of what we think and do is driven by System 1. This is one of the most important discoveries made over decades of research into human behavior. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman. Nobel Prize-winning economist Daniel Kahneman proposed a way the brain manages decisions. You think either fast or slow. Fast thinking, or System 1, occurs almost subconsciously. For example, you don't think when someone asks you the sum of 2 plus 2. These mental shortcuts can help you cope with the volume of decisions you have to make. Fast and unconscious, System 1 thinking dominates. Emotion rules. People rely far more on System 1, in part because System 2 inches thinking involves conscious thought. You weigh the pros and cons carefully, consuming time and energy. Your brain seeks to avoid this effort. It's just too tired. So you reserve it for your most important choices. Emotions dictate our decisions and influence our System 1. They are highly contagious and cause behavioral changes. People evolved and survived by joining forces. In its default state, the brain veers toward making and strengthening social connections, hence humans' need for belonging and fairness, and their desire to reciprocate gifts and kindnesses. This is why emotion drives most people's decisions. Because people mostly operate in System 1, they suffer biased thinking. More than 100 known cognitive biases impair thinking and decisions. The overconfidence bias is among the most pervasive. Overconfidence causes optimism that undermines objective decision-making. Confirmation bias distorts your decisions. You may think you analyzed your options when you unconsciously filtered out information that didn't support your original position. The thing you most recently heard or read creates a mental availability bias. The combination of risk aversion and the status quo bias makes it hard to establish the behaviors required for the success of any business, innovation, transformation, and evolution. When you own something and worked hard for it, you have a strong bias toward it. People form attachments to things as basic as coffee cups, demanding more than 2 times their value to sell them. When you have an idea, you value it more, push it harder, and hold on to it longer because it's yours. The present bias affects business decisions. A manager often lets pressing, immediate tasks take precedence, while neglecting to spend time with team members. Our brains encourage us to go for short-term profit rather than a more beneficial long-term reward. Other biases interfere with responding to the need for rapid innovation and change. Loss aversion means you dislike losing more than you like winning. People will not risk losing something until the potential gain reaches 2.5 times the potential loss. In business, this manifests as sharing less knowledge and criticism, and undertaking less risk-taking, innovation, and change. Employees default to disengagement, working the minimum necessary to get paid. Successful organizations struggle to engage to unleash commitment, retention, discretionary effort, creativity, and collaboration. Part of the engagement equation lies in creating meaning and purpose in work, plus autonomy, respect, fairness, inclusion, recognition, and the opportunity to grow and develop competence. Change is possible, but it is a large-scale challenge even when it is minor or clearly positive. Nudges can thwart bias and encourage the right behaviors at work. Use nudges to make people aware of their biases. Design nudges that remind busy people of the right things to do at the right time to overcome cognitive traps. System 1 thinking pushes people toward tasks that deliver fast rewards, but those may not include the firm's most urgent and important tasks. If we do manage to resist temptation for a certain amount of time, it doesn't last for long, and we give in after a while. Encourage employees to schedule their highest priority tasks for the time of day when they function best. Peak energy and performance usually occur in the first few hours of the morning. Remove distractions. Put phones, computers and devices on Do Not Disturb, and keep them out of sight and reach. Combat procrastination by showing employees how to start with something easy. Help people form work habits so they chip away daily at the same time for the same duration. After 1 or 2 hours of continuous work, the quality of that work, and especially the quality of our attention and concentration, takes a nosedive. Boost your productivity and endurance by blocking out 60 to 90-minute, uninterrupted work sessions. In between, take a walk. Then start a new, focused session. Your brain uses these breaks to reflect on and consolidate information, making you more creative and productive. Get enough sleep. Sleep deprivation causes as much harm as a poor diet, lack of exercise, or not wearing a seatbelt. Work on your positive attitude, since it correlates to improved health and performance. Support engagement and productivity by designing better workplace environments. Design salient workspaces. 1. Sound. Too little or too much noise can impair productivity. 2. Air, non-stop circulation and a temperature of 70 degrees are optimal. 3. Lighting, provide natural light. 4. Images, use pictures of nature, reserve walls for employee photos. 5. Ergonomics, supply high-quality chairs, computer screens that don't irritate, and desks at the right height to minimize neck and back strain. 6. Nature, a window looking out to a park, a break space outside among the trees, and plants inside boost fortitude, focus and productivity. 7. Tint, choose red to instill urgency, blue for creativity and other shades for calmness. Doing an act of kindness produces the single most reliable momentary increase in well-being of any exercise we have tested. Open concept areas foster collaboration, but people also need private spaces. Provide a gym, cafeterias for chance encounters, a library, outside natural spaces, and places to nap and meditate. Involve employees in designing their workplace, and let them decorate and arrange their personal work areas. Avoid shared offices. Leaders engage and inspire not by sharing facts and logical arguments, but by appealing to employees' emotions. Leaders must lead through emotions, System 1, because followers make decisions and interpret information emotionally. Emotional intelligence, a leader's ability to read how employees feel, is an important skill. Leaders must interpret how people are doing in their daily work routine. Office workers are dissatisfied with the open-plan office, whether this is due to noise levels, distractions, lack of privacy, or the sameness of cubicles. Jacqueline Vischer, University of Montreal. Great leaders, or superbosses, inspire employees by granting them autonomy with high accountability and expectations. They hire ambitious, intelligent people who exhibit curiosity, creativity, and flexibility. Then they support, coach, and inspire them. People want to work for this kind of company. A leader's role isn't just to share information, but to incite and inspire. The best leaders make important decisions by thinking critically. Effective leaders make sure that they and their team members know the biases and thinking traps that affect them. Human beings are emotional, so their leaders must be emotional in order to be on the same wavelength. Groups often amplify biases because they suffer from a built-in bias to agreement. Form diverse groups, create a context of open information sharing, and encourage dissenting views. Group leaders should always share their views last and should appoint someone whose role is to refute consensus opinion. Reward groups on the success of their initiatives overall or on their performance in meeting company-wide measurements, not on individual or divisional success. Hire, develop, promote, and reward people systematically, on the basis of intelligence, fit, and a collaborative, learning mindset. Focus on hiring the right people. Interviewers fall prey to confirmation bias. They make up their minds about candidates within a few minutes of meeting them, and filter everything to fit their views. Conformity bias causes most interviewers to prefer people who are like them. Implement cognitive testing and structured panel interviews with notes, standard questions, and a common rating and ranking process. The best thing that a director can do for a group is simply to keep his or her mouth shut, or at least speak last. Screen for fitness for the job and the corporate culture, emotional intelligence, empathy, proclivity toward learning, willingness to collaborate, and grit. Look for personable people who love doing the work. Once you have the right people in the right roles, encourage and support collaboration. People won't naturally share ideas because they fear looking bad or harming their relationships. Nurture the sharing of ideas, criticisms, and opinion by demonstrating that you seek and value every idea and thought. Nudge is the art of the last mile. It can only bring about spectacular changes in behavior if it is perfectly executed. Ensure that frontline leaders maintain open-door policies, speak to team members often, collect ideas, invite criticism, and reward trial and error. Never punish mistakes that people make in the spirit of innovation and learning. Set rules for disagreement so people critique ideas, not those who bring them. Develop a culture of psychological safety, so people feel safe and duty-bound to share their thoughts. Reward employees who share knowledge or help their colleagues. Add team-based goals and rewards in addition to individual ones. Prioritize learning and innovation, and design workplace nudges carefully. Firms must innovate to survive, and they must do so more often and faster than ever. But people default to doing their jobs, not to thinking about ideas for the future. Beyond embracing constructive failure and offering psychological safety, make innovation a component of everyday work. Encourage learning. Even if people enjoy and value learning, they won't prioritize it unless the firm makes it clear that learning isn't optional. Make it easy for people to learn and create. Give them the time, tools, and cultural permission to learn and think. People have many things in common, so nudges are universally applicable, but every firm differs. Use rigor in identifying the problems or behaviors you want to address, including an investigation of why people engage in these behaviors. Even given the range of nudges and ways to use them in a subtle fashion, you still must really understand a problem to forge the right nudge interventions. Consult with nudge experts and gather a cross-section of employees and leaders to debate, discuss, and ultimately choose the interventions you need to make in order to change behaviors. Prepare the ground for your nudges by adapting the culture, incentives, and rewards to them, and especially by making it easy for people to engage in desired behaviors. Measure your results and improve continuously. Takeaways. 1. Nudges, small and benign inducements to better behavior and choices, pervade society, but you may barely notice them. 2. Traditional economics describes a fiction. 2. Behavioral economics explains how people really think and behave. 3. Fast and unconscious, System 1-inch thinking dominates. 3. Emotion rules. 4. Because people mostly operate in System 1, they suffer biased thinking. 5. Employees default to disengagement, working the minimum necessary to get paid. 6. Nudges can thwart bias and encourage the right behaviors at work. 7. Support engagement and productivity by designing better workplace environments. 8. Leaders engage and inspire not by sharing facts and logical arguments, but by appealing to employees' emotions. 9. Hire, develop, promote, and reward people systematically, on the basis of intelligence, fit, and a collaborative, learning mindset. 10. Prioritize learning and innovation, and design workplace nudges carefully.